So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session. And today we are going to talk about the descriptive writing strategy that you can apply with respect to your NABARD Grade B exam. And in this strategy, we are going to talk about different type of questions that would be there in your mind with respect to the descriptive writing. So, we are going to move on in a step-by-step manner how you can approach toward descriptive writing, and it is going to be a holistic strategy, and I will try to answer all your questions with respect to the descriptive writing paper. So let us begin with the session. So the first question that would be there in your mind would be when to start answer writing practice with respect to the descriptive writing paper. What is the right time to start the preparation with respect to that? So the first thing is that keeping in mind the present times, I mean, we know that the notification is going to be announced very soon, and the rumors are that the exam will be held around 1st of September. These are the rumors that are there, but if these rumors are true, once the notification is announced, we will get to know the date of the exam. So if these rumors are true, then my suggestion is that at this point of time you should only focus on phase 1 with all your priority. That should be your priority at this point of time. You should focus on phase 1 if this rumor gets true. But if these rumors are not true, if the exam gets delayed further on, then what you can do, you can start your focus upon descriptive writing. You can start with answer writing practice. That is the idea. So I hope it is clear to you, because a general strategy won't work as a part of your preparation. So what do we need? We need to consider all the factors. So the most important factor is the date at this point of time. So if this date is true, then focus on phase 1 only. You can focus on descriptive writing at the later period of time, but if this date extends further on, then you can focus on descriptive writing paper also at this point of time. So I think this part is clear to you when to start. The next thing is how to start regarding descriptive writing paper, and especially with respect to the answer writing practice. How can you begin with this? What should be your approach with respect to this whole context? So the answer to this question is not objective but very much subjective in nature, because it depends on who you are. Who you are means whether you are a beginner or you are somebody who has been a part of this preparation cycle for past few months or years, and you have covered a certain portion of your syllabus. So let us say you are a veteran, somebody who is experienced with respect to this exam. So the approach differs from person to person. So if we talk about the beginners, so firstly I'm going to talk about beginners, then we will talk about the experienced aspirants. So if we talk about the beginners, the first tip that I would like to give you is that start small. Do not be in hurry. Always start small. Now starting small means that whenever you are doing answer writing practice, start by writing one answer a day. Then you can, after writing one answer a day for few weeks, then you can move on to writing 2 answers a day. And within this also, for example, if you are writing one answer, you can target to write one answer per week. Then you can focus on, you can just increase the target 1 to 2 answer per week, and so on. So this is how what you can do. You can start small. Another thing is that when you are starting answer writing practice, especially you are beginner, do not focus a lot on detailing part. What do you mean by that? Where you have to focus primarily, if you are a beginner, firstly you should focus on the structuring part of the answer. Get into this habit of structuring your answer in a right manner. Now what do we mean by structuring? For example, this is your answer. This is a blueprint that we follow as a standardized blueprint when we talk about answer writing practice. So when we talk about the blueprint and the structuring part, so always practice that how to write an introduction, how to write the body, how to write the conclusion. Just try to structure your answer in the initial days. So try to write your introduction within 10 to 12% of the total word limit, and the same rule you should try to apply with the conclusion part also. That should be your primary area of practice. Do not focus a lot on detailing part, the content part, because content is something, because if you are a beginner, content is something that you will keep on adding when you will keep your preparation in a consistent manner. When you will read different type of textbooks, when you will watch different type follow different type of sources, then content is not going to be the problem. But the most important key factor is the habit of structuring your answer. So focus on structuring your answer, how to write the introduction within 10 to 12% of word limit, then how to write the body, then within body you should know how to structure your body. For example, if this is the body that you are going to write, so practice how I'm going to give a good heading to this body, then how I'm going to give a good subheading to this body. So heading and subheading, under the subheading practice about how to write the points in a very concise manner, and try to add value addition data with respect to the point. For example, you can write some form of data, or you can write some form of fact, a very unique fact with respect to that certain point that can justify that point, that can elaborate that point, and you can also write different type of examples. So you should practice such type of things when you are a beginner. Do not focus a lot on content, just focus on the structuring part. When you will get into habit with respect to structuring your answer in a right manner, then you can move on to the advanced level. Now what does the advanced level include? Advanced level means, or you should try to organize your thoughts and implement your thoughts with the whole knowledge that you have gained as a part of your preparation. Suppose you have written different type of textbook. Earlier what you were doing, your main focus was structuring. Now what you can do, you should focus upon implementing that part of the knowledge. Close your textbook, memorize the things, and write the answer within word limit and the right time limit. But when you are a beginner, do not focus a lot on word limit and time limit. The only focus should be on the structuring part. When you will reach the advanced level, focus on word limit and time limit very strictly. You can use the stop clock also, so that everything is in a well systematic manner with respect to answer writing practice. So I hope you got the idea what does starting small mean. And also another important factor is, do not afraid to commit mistakes. If you are committing mistakes while doing answer writing practice, I would say you should be the happiest person, because what you are doing, unlike other aspirants who are not doing answer writing practice at all, you will always be in a better position, because what you have done, the mistakes that you are going to commit in the exam, you have committed it in the practice phase only. So do not afraid to commit mistakes during the practice session. Lastly, learn the art of structuring your answer. This is what I have already discussed with you, how to structure the answer in a very brief manner. Here the explanation was brief, but what you can do, you can also follow our initiative Perspective 360 degree as a part of EduTap, where we do answer writing practice on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5 p.m. we do answer writing practice on a certain current based issue or a static based issue, all such type of things. You can follow that also, but if you do not want to follow that, that is also okay. You want to practice individually in an independent manner, that is also perfectly fine. But the aim is to practice as much as you can. So I hope it is clear to you. Now we have talked about the beginners also. Now the second category, who are the experienced. For the experienced person, my only suggestion is that you have already read all the textbooks and you are well aware about how this exam works, the pattern with respect to the exam, the type of questions, the nature of the questions that are asked. So there should be no excuse with respect to answer writing practice. Start now. That is my only suggestion to the experienced persons. But with respect to beginners, I have already said how to start small, how to structure your answer without caring about word limit or time limit, and then further on move on to advanced level. I hope it is clear to you. Now there are few other factors also, the questions that are there in the mind of the aspirants with respect to the answer writing practice. So I'm going to address those general questions also, for example with respect to typing speed and typing accuracy. Now we all know that this is a problem with a lot of individuals with respect to typing speed and typing accuracy, because we are not in a habit to type at such a speed. Now what could be the solution of that? Now with respect to the speed, I can only give you one solution, that is practice as much as you can, and practice using different type of keyboards, because keyboard issues are also an important issue with respect to that affects your answer writing practice, that affects your performance in the exam. So there are basically two type of keyboards. One is mechanical keyboard and the second is membrane keyboard. Now you do not know which keyboard you are going to get in the exam, because which center you will get and what type of keyboard they are going to provide you. So my suggestion is that try to practice with multiple type of keyboards. You can if you have a group, you have different friends who are preparing for the same exam, you can borrow keyboards from each other for a certain period of time, and then you can practice. But that could be one of the factors that can impact your performance in the exam. So keyboard issues should also be taken into consideration, and with respect to the speed, practice as much as you can. And what you can do, you can also use, there are many online websites. If you just simply Google the online websites with respect to the typing practice, so what you can do, you can open the website, and there you can practice by writing faster in a faster pace, and there you can measure your typing speed. And gradually, when you will practice more and more, then your speed with respect to the typing, that should eventually get reduced. And there are different online platforms. You can just simply Google it, and you will find many such websites who offer this practice interface. So I hope it is clear to you. The second thing is that start from slow and then end at fast. So when you are doing typing practice, my one suggestion is that please start typing slow. Why I'm saying start typing slow? This is especially for the beginners. The experienced persons who are in this exam for a long period of time, I understand you have already done a lot of practice, so this is not for you. This is for the beginners. So whenever you are typing, start typing slow. The reason behind this is that this also helps you in improving your accuracy. Because when you when you start typing fast immediately, this also hampers your accuracy with respect to typing. When you will type slow, you get into the habit, you get acclimatized with respect to the keyboard, and then when you get comfortable with respect to typing slow, then you can switch to typing fast in a gradual manner. So that is the idea with respect to typing slow to typing fast. And also there are different spell check tools available in the market. You can see in the Microsoft Office also. So what you can do, you can use the spell check tools also. What these spell check tools help you? They will help you in typing accuracy. If you are somebody who makes a lot of grammatical errors in his answers, a lot of spelling mistakes in his answers, these spell check tools are going to help you. But one caution is there. The caution is that do not become over reliant on this spell check tools. Do not get into the habit of using this spell check tools. Use these spell check tools only for a certain period of time, and once you are comfortable, then you should avoid using these tools after that. Why? Because you are not going to get any kind of spell check tool in the real exam. So you have to try your best in order to prepare yourself in the exam like conditions. So the thing is that you can use the spell check tools in the initial period, but later on you can avoid using them. Do not be over reliant on using these spell check tools. So I hope this point is also clear to you. The second thing is regarding the challenges with respect to the word limit and time limit. So the thing about word limit and time limit is that firstly we will talk about word limit. So one important factor that is linked with your word limit is to practice your answers, to write them in a concise manner. For example, I just told you about the answer structuring. Now when you are in a beginner phase, that is in the starting phase of your answer writing, then you should also practice that. If there is a big sentence, let's say there is a big sentence, because when you will enter the phase 2, you will have a lot of knowledge. Now how to convert the knowledge in your exam, that is the key. You have to get into this you have to get into the habit of writing the last sentences into the concise format. So that is the idea. For example, if we are talking about government, that government does this, that, all such type of things. But if you will write in a concise manner that the aim of the governance is minimum government and maximum governance. Can you see within just 2 words what you have done? You have summarized the most important points that you were supposed to write in such a last sentence with respect to the government, and you can use this line as a part of your conclusion also. The point that I want to make is that try to practice your answer concisely, and then only you will be able to write it within the word limit and also with respect to the time limit also. So you have to develop the ability to summarize the points and summarize in such a manner that the point does not lose the essential information. So that is the idea. And with respect to time limit, what you can do, you can allocate specific slots for each section of the answer. For example, you can decide the specific slot for the introduction part, then the body part, then the conclusion part. You can pre-decide it before the exam that this is a time that I am going to dedicate with respect to the introduction, and then I will move on to the body. So that's how you can optimize your word limit also and the time limit also in a structured manner. Next, the keyboard issues that I have already discussed with you. So these factors I think are clear to you. Now the different type of another question that is there in the mind of aspirants is with respect to the sources. Now when we talk about the static sources, the thing about static sources is that either you can read the textbooks directly, the basic textbooks with respect to your subjects, and also the advanced textbooks. Fine. Now if you are somebody who is not using textbooks, if you have joined any type of course, for example, if you have joined EduTap, you are watching course, you are going through concept notes, the summary sheets, all such type of things. All these things are going to work for your static portion. Now the thing about the dynamic portion is that dynamic portion means with respect to the current affairs. Now how you are going to deal with the current affairs? The newspapers are going to be the very important source, and to be precise, within newspaper, the editorial part. So what you can do, if you are scanning the newspaper, if you are going through the editorials, you do not have to read. First information is that you do not have to read all the editorials. That is the first point. So which editorials you have to read? You only have to read those editorials that align with your syllabus. For example, you have gender issues as a part of your ESI. Now if there is an editorial with respect to the gender issues, what you can do, suppose this is an editorial in the newspaper, what you can do, this editorial will have lot of information. Suppose it talks about the gender sensitivity. Now what you can do, if this editorial talks about certain type of argument, if it talks about certain type of initiative or program of the government, either government or with respect to any international level, or if it talks about any type of data, all such type of things, what you can do, you can just collect this information and add it to your notes, and that will suffice for you. Or what can happen, if the government has launched any new type of flagship program and there is any editorial with respect to it, let us say it is an editorial is related to agriculture. Now we know agriculture is a very important component of your exam. So what you can do, you can, if that topic is new, totally new with respect to but it aligns with the syllabus of your exam, but it is totally dynamic, what you can do, you can take the whole topic and pick out the different arguments and different type of value addition material from that editorial, and you can make notes out of it, and then you can revise it before the exam. So that is the idea how you use editorials. But if there is a certain type of editorial, for example with respect to, let us say, politics, different type of political editorials that are there, or if you find any editorials that is not relevant to the syllabus of your exam, you can safely skip that editorial. Or let us say, if the government has launched certain type of policy, let us say with respect to the education sector. For example, in the past when the government launched a national education policy, then you would have observed that during that time there were multiple editorials with respect to education sector. Now if you have read 2 to 3 editorials with respect to it, and you feel that yes, I have sufficient information related to the education sector, I have sufficient information with respect to national education policy, now multiple editorials are getting in the newspapers, then what you can do, you can skip those editorials also, because you already have sufficient information with respect to it. So do not overburden yourself unnecessarily with respect to that topic. So that is how you can safely choose the editorial and skip the editorial depending on the context. I hope this part is also clear to you, especially the dynamic part. Now a lot of students ask me in the email that which newspaper they should read. Either you can read the Hindu newspaper or you can read the Indian Express. choose any one of them. Do not overburden yourself unnecessarily. And within the Hindu newspaper, you should read the editorial, and there is also a page called text and context. In the text and context page, what they do, they share the topic of the day, 1 to 2 topics usually, and they share it they talk about it in a detailed manner. And if that topics align with your syllabus, then go for it, read it, make notes out of it. Fine. So now within the Indian Express newspaper, either you can read the editorial, you should read the editorial, and apart from that, what you can do, there is an explained section. It is a specific dedicated page, explained page. On the explained page also, just like the Hindu, there is text and context. Similarly, in the Indian Express, they have the explained section that you can read. That is also very much informative. If there is something that aligns with your syllabus, you can go through that also. So I think I've dealt with this in a detailed manner. Apart from that, if you want to read something else, then you can follow some editorials in the Live Mint. In the Live Mint, you will find many editorials that are there with respect to the exam, that align with your syllabus. So I hope it is clear to you what type of approach you have to follow with respect to this part. Now let us see the different nature of questions. When we talk about the NABARD exam, what type of questions are asked? So basically 3 type of questions are there. The first type of questions are purely static questions that will be asked directly from your syllabus. You must have covered those questions if you have covered the syllabus in a comprehensive manner. These type of questions are purely static. The second category is the mixture of static and the current affair, and the third is purely current affair based questions. So 3 type of questions that are asked. So for example, this is the question that was asked in 2023. Write a note on India's demographic dividend and what are the challenges involved in utilizing it. So this question is purely static in nature. Then India's score in RBI's Financial Inclusion Index has increased in 2023. In this context, discuss the challenges to financial inclusion in India. So this is what? This is a mixture of static plus current affairs. Then lastly, what are the key objectives of National Rural Livelihood Mission? What are the key features and components with respect to it? This was asked in 2022, and this is purely current affair based question. So this is the nature of questions that are asked in the exam, and this is why I discuss the different type of sources, because you have to cover both static and the dynamic aspect of the question. So different type of questions. So keeping in mind the nature of the questions that are asked in the exam. So I hope the picture is clear to you. You have got the idea, the different type of questions that are asked, and similarly you have to prepare your content also and organize your preparation. Now there are few important type of tips with respect to the answer writing practice. The first tip is regarding outline your answer. So what you can do before, suppose you are sitting in the examination hall and the question is in front of you. Now what should be the mindset before you start writing the answer of that question? The first mindset, the first tip that I want to give you, that first create the outline of that question. Now what do you mean by the outline? You will only take 30 to 45 seconds. I'm saying seconds, not the minute. Hardly 1 minute. 1 minute is the maximum time that you can give to with respect to outlining. And what you can do, whenever you the moment you read the question, start creating the outline. Thus I'm going to write this as a part of my introduction. Then in the body I can talk about these all these points. Then in the conclusion I can talk about this part, especially with respect to introduction in the body, because conclusion, when you will reach the conclusion after writing introduction and body, at the back of your mind you will get the idea of a conclusion also. But immediately start this, you have to decide what you have to write in the introduction and what you have to write in the body. If you will practice it, then you will understand the significance of creating the outline. This is going to make your answer much more organized, and you will able to express your thoughts in a very logical manner. So that is the idea. Create an outline of your answer, and how you will be able to do it within 30 to 45 seconds only if you have practiced it. So while you are doing practice also on a regular basis, so at that time moment also, what you have to do, suppose you are practicing before the exam on a daily basis, so what you can do, before writing the answer, immediately start brainstorming what can I write in the introduction, what I can write in the body, all such type of things. It is going to save your time also when you will write the answer, and it is going to keep your thoughts organized in a very logical manner. So I hope the first thing is clear to you. Then the peel technique means, firstly you have to write on the point. Do not distract what has been asked in the question. Lastly, what you have to do, you have to write your answer in a very well structured manner. The answer should not be in a disorganized manner. Do not write like what you have written in the introduction, the same thing you are repeating in the body also, and lastly in the conclusion you have mismatched everything should be in a systematic manner, and that can come only with practice. Now I told you regarding the answer blueprint, what can you write in the type of introduction and the body with respect to all such type of things. Then introduction and conclusion ready made. Now this is a very important thing, a very efficient tip with respect to your exam. Now what you can do, suppose there is a topic of gender issues in your syllabus, or there is a topic of agriculture in your syllabus, any such type of topic, what you can do, you can create ready-made introduction and conclusion for your exam. For example, if you have created any such type of introduction which is very much generalized, and if the questions comes in the exam with respect to women, or specifically gender sensitivity, or with respect to women entrepreneurship, all such type of things, any gender type of questions, so prepare such generalized ready-made introductions in advance, so that you are able to implement that in your exam, and that is going to save your time and is going to save your efforts also. So try to do it for the different type of topics wherever possible, especially for the started topics. For example, agriculture, such a broad topic. What you can do for such type of topic, you can create a ready-made introduction, and if any question is asked with respect to agriculture, you should try to apply that introduction in your exam. Same case with the conclusion also. What you can do, you can create few types of generalized way forwards. So this is how you can very smartly approach the answer. That is going to save you time, and it's also not going to duplicate your efforts. So I hope it is clear to you. The next is the importance of value addition. Now what do you mean by value addition? Value addition means whenever you are writing any answer, be it introduction or it is body part, always try to substantiate your answer. Now what do you mean by substantiate? How you can substantiate your answer? You can substantiate your answer either with the help of data, or different type of facts, or different type of examples. For example, there is a question of urbanization. So in the newspaper few days back, I was reading an article with respect to urbanization, and in that article there was a very good information. I mean, there were different information type of information mentioned in the article, but one information that I'm able to recall is with respect to the concept of spawn cities. Now you can see this concept of spawn cities, a bit of unique concept, and the editorial was talking about that India should also implement this concept in these cities, because we also see different type of instances such as urban flooding, all such type of things. So that was the concept. Now what you can do, such type of knowledge, the value addition knowledge, the unique type of knowledge, you can add to your notes if you find it in the editorials, and then you can implement it in your answer. Now how it is going to help you? Suppose if it is a question of urbanization in the exam, urbanization is not a difficult topic at all. Anyone can write an answer on urbanization even if you have not prepared anything. The point is that it is such an easy topic, but who will get the more marks? Who is going to get the competitive edge in the exam? That person who has added value to his answer. So this is how value addition works. Either it can be in the form of example. For example, I gave you the spawn cities concept. Then with respect to the data, you can add data, for example, by the RBI or any such type of international organization, let us say Lancet or World Wildlife Fund, any data if it is there. Or you can add data from the different type of reports, or what you can do, you can add the ranking also. For example, if you are talking about the India's ranking, you can write India's ranking in the this logistic index. that is prepared at the international level. Or you can write India's ranking in ease of doing business. What it is going to do, if you're seeing if you're adding any type of value addition, it is going to give you the competitive edge in the exam, because whoever is going to give the phase 2 of the exam, he is a very sincere aspirant. That is why he was able to clear the phase 1. And if he is going the phase 2, all the aspirants are going to have somewhere equivalent amount of knowledge. And what is where the difference lies, who is going to get the selection? One who is able to achieve competitive edge in the exam, and the value addition is going to be that weapon you will have in order to gain that competitive edge. I hope the picture is clear to you. Lastly, the proofreading. Now, what do you mean by proofreading? Whenever you are writing your answer, I told you first prepare the outline. What outline is, what it is going to do, it is going to make you write your answer in a much organized manner with a logical flow. It will also reduce the scope of error while writing your answer. And what the proofreading is going to do, when you will done with your answer, when you will done with your exam, you have attempted all the questions, you can save the last 5 to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes for proofreading. You can check whether you have made any grammatical error or not, or especially if you have done in, when you are writing your answer, so if you have made any kind of spelling mistake or not, all such type of things you can done as a part of proofreading. Since you are typing, so you have this flexibility to modify your answer also. If you were writing on a sheet with the help of pen and ink, then that flexibility would have not been there. But since you are typing, what you can do, you can proofread your answer. If you think there is a scope of improvement in the introduction, you can improve it. It will hardly take 5 to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes are enough, or more, or maximum 10 minutes. That is it. Try to save that last time in order to read your answer, so that you can maintain maximum efficiency and reduce the scope of mistake, especially a silly mistake in your answers. So I hope it is clear to you. So now we are done with the session. Now let me read the chat box. These are the different type of things that I wanted to share with you. I know this session was not very much holistic, but I have created this session based on the different type of queries that were asked either through the emails or in the discussion forums. So I thought, let us create a session on it so that the different type of queries can be addressed at once. So I hope the session was helpful for you. Yes, Mamta, I have already talked about the keyboard in a detailed manner. Fine. So now I'm ending the session, and thank you so much. I hope the session was helpful for you.